following podcast is intended to be entertainment and a tad educational. Do not take anything we say to heart. We are not comedians but plan to laugh with us or at us. If you disagree with what we have to say, make sure to bring it up in the comments so we can gain views with your tears. Enjoy the show. I did not enjoy listening to myself just then. I heard it. Just keep that on the silent.
Oh, goodness. Welcome into another week, bi-weekly, whatever,
Episode 10.
Episode 10. We're in the double digits, y'all, so pretty exciting. We've got a ton of stuff going on.
Loud vehicles driving by.
Yeah, sorry about that. we got
Ambulance went
Camden
by
on.
just a few minutes ago.
I thought that was the 5-0 coming after you.
They ain't coming after me.
It's not mine.
Well,
Somebody's.
it's
all
got the
good.
volume up.
It's all
but-
good.
So we had a couple weeks off, had a weekend where we wasn't really doing anything.
We all got together.
We say that, but Jarrett was thrashing in the garage. We came down and pestered a little bit. Had a good little break.
till like 1 o'clock in the morning. We were
Yeah.
just chit chatting.
Yeah, chit chatting, talking about new. Ideas.
I think it was a pretty successful get together on that deal because there was a lot of good ideas, a lot of good things mentioned and brought up, and
Mhm.
I think that gave us a good head start on the new stuff, the fun stuff, the cool stuff, anything moving forward.
Yep. So it's supposed to be a go and work on the car for Spring Explosion
Which we did.
meeting.
Yeah,
which
we
we
did.
eventually got done.
I did find out that the seat and the common everything are set just right. That if I have to drive, it's just perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Put this thing together in like next to no time. So the hard work and thrashings there probably ain't gonna be a price on that on this one anyway. So these last few, I've just in a matter of a very short time frame put them together. So I don't want to really not drive it.
Yeah, especially with you and Mason going out there. I think
Yeah.
that'll be fun to watch. You're heading up Thursday. We're heading up early Friday morning, so
Very
we can get
early.
there before the action. I'm getting off work and headed straight to the shop to jump in the vehicle with y'all and sleep a few hours. And
Yeah.
We'll be en route. I would venture to say we talked about this last night. You and Kinley will be
Conk
back,
no
knocked.
questions.
Yeah,
I'm always bringing a blanket with me. Hiding.
she always has one. So,
Miss Coley over there.
mhm.
So with that,
Before we get started, we probably got some sponsors
Yeah,
to
let's
hit
do
up.
that.
Thank
Let's
our
do that.
sponsors, get them out of the way.
as always, we're extremely appreciative of everybody that stepped up to help us. Solar Control Window Tinting, Trent, he's over in St. Anthony area, towards Jasper, French Lick, between there. For those of you that don't know where St. Anthony is, to our local viewers, he does
Window tinting.
window tinting. It's right in front of me. Auto, residential, commercial. He does push to starts, installations on vehicles. Everything he does is top notch. Trent also drives a street stock at Salem Speedway. We are supposed to be on the track exactly right now. But with the monsoon that our area has been having, we didn't put in any boat motors. So thankfully he got another week to prepare that brand new car that he's building, which also means I won't be there for the first race unless we leave really early Sunday. So we'll play that by ear. I'm going to try to make it, but most likely not happening. So we want to wish him, his dad, best of luck next weekend. We'll also talk about Solar Control here in a minute with a new segment that we're adding in, powered by Solar Control. So we will bring that up here in a few. But we're extremely appreciative for Trent for stepping up. He gave way more than I ever expected him to. So we
Thanks to
can't
him.
thank him enough for helping make this possible. Then we got Babs Custom Signs. He's who we are partnered with. They do all of our stickers. They are doing a roof sign and door wrap bit with us that part of the proceeds goes to help funding the show. So if you need any roof signs, door wraps, we're starting to see those come out. Just extremely cool seeing the ones that integrate our logo into their wraps. There was a bunch of those down at Freedom Hall. We appreciate those guys that ran those. So get with us or get with Jason on getting those done. Jason's way better at the design side of stuff, but I can do a little bit of stuff, at least get him an idea before we send it to him, or just get directly with him, whichever avenue you want to do. Speaking of design work, Kenley's been doing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. We got a shirt design we may briefly talk about here in a little bit, and more design work. Caitlin has been stepping up and is getting ready to start doing a lot more when she gets some of her new tools.
Her art abilities.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
she held out on me for a long time.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like she drew that.
this is hand drawn, and we've interpreted into the
Merch side of things.
merch side. It is graffitied on the side of Ura Mason's car, which is what these shirts are for this weekend.
Which Caitlin also spray painted on there. Is my mic on?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's not real loud.
Should be looking
She's
far
not
right.
plugged in. Sure.
Oh, the splitter.
I don't know where the splitter's at either. It's in one of the boxes.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
guys share a mic?
Yeah. I was.
I was thinking that. I
Well,
was like, I really
after she
cannot hear
talked, that's why I
myself.
reached over and pushed it a little closer because I'm like, I'm not hearing you real good in
Yeah.
my headset.
Because
I
that
know,
one's
I know everybody wants to hear me. So
There you go. Now we got you. Back.
Sorry, y'all.
Little technical difficulty.
Yeah, I
No
meant
big
to
deal.
have all this stuff set up before they all got here. Got stuck making merch last night till 6 a.m.
it was.
So when they got
Yeah.
here, there was piled this whole area
He's been
of,
working hard.
of merch. We are restocked. We'll get to that. But I'll show this shirt whenever we're big here in a second. But Babs does all custom vinyl work, wraps, outdoor signs, indoor signs, custom stickers, all kinds of stuff. So if you got anything of that kind of need, hit them up. Got TNT Fab. And I should have updated some of his new products. But TNT Fab, they're awesome local company that is doing all kinds of metal work, a lot of flat work, bumper kits, wheel centers, radiator guards, taco plates, anything.
Watts conversions.
Yeah. He just came out with that. I will get a slide updated for him. I have posted some of that lower on our Facebook page. So those of you watching through that, go check that out whenever we're done. Of course, we got Jessica Ritchie, Archie Campbell, Jared's mom, and her fiance. They was our first sponsor. We cannot thank them enough for believing in us to do this and supporting us the way they have. They supported us through everything, so we thank them a ton. Pack a Punch Creations, Carla Woodward Turchek. She has done some design work on another t-shirt that we are getting ready to try and get published. I know I've mentioned that 3 million times, but we are working on them.
It's finally about to come to fruition.
Yeah. But we've got a lot of cool stuff in the works that we just got to iron out the details.
Yeah, speaking of that, it has nothing to do with our sponsors. That video y'all keep asking about, it's done. It's just not long enough.
Yeah.
Like
So-
to my liking. So we're working on getting videos to put into the video and make it longer. But for everyone asking,
Yeah. So Walker, if you're listening, please go own some real estate on someone's doghouse this coming week.
I like how you're passing that to Walker.
Yeah, that's Walker's job.
Which with the local shows and stuff about to start too, we'll be able to
Get some more
Get
of our
quite a bit
original
of-
videos. Yep.
content.
Tyler just added that door skins and a lot of form parts are coming soon. He just got a ginormous new machine. I believe it's a brake.
Yeah, it's a big break.
Seen that the other day.
Looks completely sick. I want to come over and just watch it work.
Went to Texas, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's commitment.
And also, we shared that post, but if you see his back window has a wrap on the back of it, one of the see-through sun catchers. believe that came from Babs as well. So something like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wesley, yes, we do need to get together and do that. And Mafia TV's in the house. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Our northern buddies up there. So yeah, check out TNT and all the others. We got Hayes Performance. Hayes does all kinds of work. He's a good buddy of ours. He's full-time in the shop. He just got a tire balancer in, so he is now adding that to his list of stuff that he can do. He is not selling tires, but he can mount and balance. So
Got
hit
to
him
see
up for that.
last night. That
Yep.
was pretty slick.
Yeah, he came up and showed us a picture of it, and I was pretty excited to see that.
Yeah.
So all of us that aren't buying tires but have all kinds of wheel setups, go to Jeremy,
Yeah.
and he can fix that up for us and help somebody local as well as someone that supports the show. So we appreciate all them guys. So we'll go back to maybe I just clicked the wrong one. We'll get to that. Solar Control Shining Star. I posted about it this week. This is a segment that we're going to do. It's going to be viewer submitted. We're going to talk about shining stars in motorsports. I don't care if it's circle track, dirt bikes, derby, anything. We want our viewers to submit stories of somebody that's going above and beyond to help the motorsport in general.
And we don't mean we don't mean you have to just go out, spend money, give someone a sub or something. Like, it's the stuff in the garage, behind the scenes. We want to know who's being that guy in the sport. And,
Yeah.
And, taking care of the youth, taking care of, your buddies,
Yeah.
whatever it is, let us know, because, that I think that's one thing that really gets overlooked in this whole sport is the guys that do so much and
Don't ask for anything.
Yeah.
In
and then
return.
and then they don't get recognized. There's a lot of people that I know of personally that, I could start spitballing names and we'd be here all night of guys that I know that are just doing little things like that are
Yeah.
getting guys to the track and stuff. So
And it doesn't even have to be on a personal level. I wish I'd had thought of something like this back when I was on the fair board here locally. There was many times after events, like even during our fair week, we had the fair queen and all of her court. They would stay after in the grandstands every night and pick up all the trash from start to finish.
Yeah.
And that is not one of their duties. That's not something that's ever been asked or ever done by another court that I
Yeah.
know of. That would be something cool. We had a fall show one time. I was there cleaning the infield by myself. Your dad wasn't on the board anymore. Him, his girlfriend, and your sister all showed up because they saw my truck parked out there and stayed 5 hours.
Yeah, I've done that
Yeah.
numerous times after fair and stuff.
Stuff like that, the behind the scenes that you're helping with the sport that's not recognized anywhere. If somebody's coming to the shop every night and they're not driving the car and they're just there to support you, we want to hear stories like that and get the recognition to the ones that aren't behind the wheel or
The ones that deserve it the most.
Yeah.
That truly do deserve it. So send those in to us. We're not gonna just limit it to like one person a week, but yeah, we'll probably only recognize one or two a week or every other week when we have the podcast. But send them in. We want to start talking about those guys because that's something nobody really does, and I think, like I said, that's something that gets overlooked and definitely
And-
deserves to be talked about.
we've got one submission that we will cover at some point. He's deserving just by the input of it, but I've also seen him at the track and him go above and beyond.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, Joey Robbie's definitely top notch. We definitely appreciate everything he does, so he would be a great one.
Before we get too far away from the comment, Jonathan Gilstrap's being a comedian today.
And he always.
Yeah, no, Jonathan, I will not. This year, next year, or any other year, there will never be another one of those. Okay, so
The old one and done.
put the cap on that one.
The old running.
That'll
The old
never
one and
happen.
done.
Yeah, well,
That'll never happen.
I'd like for it to.
But okay, so now that you can see us big screen and not itty bitty in the corner, this is the shirt we'll be repping up at Spring X. It's a Graffiti Adrenaline Junkies podcast shirt. We're pretty excited. So
It's slick.
We've
It's
all got
real
long
slick.
sleeves. I've got some more in the mail. Hopefully, it'll be here at the beginning of the week that I can get together and take with us.
Yeah.
But we will have all of our OG merch with us. We're stocked up from everything from a small to a 5X t-shirt, small to 4X hoodies, hats. We've got flat bills, bent bills. And that's wild. We've got all 3 hat
Yeah.
color
literally.
combos right
Yeah.
now. So we got those with us. By us selling this, that's what helps us fund to buy bigger and better equipment. We've got big dreams and little pockets, so this is what's making us grow a whole lot easier. So we appreciate everything about it.
Dreams of little pockets.
Yeah. I think it's better than the other one.
I think we got
Can
the,
we get that on the wall too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Big dreams,
that-
little
that's
pockets.
a surprise.
Mafia TV said, "How about yourselves? This is going above and beyond." Yeah, but the difference is we're not here for the recognition. We don't want the recognition.
Yeah.
There is
We're just
not a-
here hanging out and trying
Yeah.
to promote the sport. We definitely appreciate the compliment, though.
Yeah.
What you do is the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Give free videos out. You got some killer GoPro videos that we've been watching.
Yeah.
We definitely see everything you're doing too, buddy.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing about anything we're doing that we really care about our names or our recognition. It's
Yeah.
about
Nah.
the sport and
Yep.
the sport and the growing and the betterment of it, really.
Yep.
So
We're just 4 goons over here having fun, or 3 goons in Kinley.
no, there's
Tis she.
one goon and 3 regular guys over here doing
Tis she.
Yeah, tis her.
hey,
But at any rate, yes.
Walker. This is a family production.
Yeah. Um,
Can't take you anywhere, Chuck. But yeah, we are very excited for Spring Explosion coming up. It is this coming weekend. We've got several buddies that'll be running. We have Jarrett and Mason running Friday night, Saturday night. Walker, Big Chuck, Little Chuck, whichever Chuck he is,
the
and,
Chuck, the
and
Chuck.
his Padre are running Friday.
Friday.
That's
the
the
old
one that's
fuel
Friday.
man Dan.
Dan the man.
Dan the man.
They will be in Friday night's heat. Our buddy AJ Warren is in Friday night's heat, along with several others.
We got a couple Southern Illinois friends.
Yep, Dylan.
Simonton.
He will be out there with them.
Kyle Ruoff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're excited, especially to watch that one. I think that's going to be that'll be a
that's-
barn burner right
yeah,
there.
That heat will be.
Kinda
Um,
And then we got Charlie and
Yep.
Cooper on Saturday.
They will be in the youth side of it
Mhm.
with Kinley Inc. as their team name. I don't
Cool.
know where they got that
That's
name.
right. That's
it-
right.
Tis her.
yeah.
We got Boston Plemons
Oh,
will be there.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool. What's up, Cody? I have a package I need to send you, so I'll be messaging you later. I finished them up last night, so
They're slick.
you'll have mail. But thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
But we're extremely excited for. I haven't even looked at our itinerary.
It's more like Spring X has grown a lot
Yeah.
from what it was. I mean, I know like how long ago was that? 2 years ago that we went. You
Mhm.
you guys were in team deal.
Yep.
It was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday deal, but like now it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's action. Literally Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. There's action on at least 3 of those nights.
Yeah. So Thursday, vans and trucks run, and
And then the heat for
Yeah.
the 2-man bone stock.
yep, they'll be running.
Which they put that out early on is like, are there any teams that volunteer or would want to volunteer to run Thursday? You know, just so we don't have so much. It's not drawn out Friday and Saturday. We can get in, get out at a decent hour.
Yeah.
And there was a surprising amount of guys, you know, kind of stepped up. We're like, yeah, I'll run Thursday and
I
sit
mean,
back and enjoy
yeah.
the weekend, you know.
yeah. I mean, if I was in that shoes, I'd be up for it because
Yeah.
you get to run, you get to just okay. I'm out. I'm good to go, and then you can just hang out the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it also works out when you're in Saturday, you get to chill out
Yep.
Thursday, Friday, most of the day Saturday. You
Yep.
know? So super cool that it's kind of, I know it seems kind of crazy that these derbies are now starting to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows, but it also kind of makes it easier on everyone that's there as well. You know, guys aren't trying to rush and hurry up and scrap stuff together to
No.
you're giving guys time to sit down, enjoy the show, enjoy your time, hang out with the guys. Hopefully we get to enjoy some steaks cooked off of a rim,
Yeah.
it's-
I've already
hint.
yeah.
Chase Johnson. I've
Yeah.
already been talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey, it is in Urbana, Illinois, which is right outside of Champaign, I
Yeah,
believe.
Yeah, it's pretty much in Champaign.
Yeah. It's real close to the university.
Yep.
Then Friday we have. Okay, I thought that said 4x4. I was like, oh my goodness, what are we getting into? You got your 4v4 full size heats, 4v4 limited weld compacts, 2-man heat, 1 and 2.
Then they're wanting to have everything on Friday done by 10 p.m.
Yeah.
That's
See, and
wild.
then that's cool too, because 10 p.m. in a college town,
There's lots to do.
there's not only that, but you can go out to eat.
Uh-huh.
Like places are still open. You can watch the show all day, and then it gets over with. You can still go grab a bite to eat or whatever.
You'll find me at the Texas
Roadhouse.
Please and thank you.
The show starts Friday at like 12 o'clock. So it's one of those, they're starting early. They're going to get it in and then get you out. I love the sound of that.
Yep.
My vacation time doesn't, but I would have been taking it if it started at 5 still. So
Yep.
It'd be pretty cool. And then Saturday, they got Power Wheels, 4v4, full size Consi, compact Consi, 2-man team youth cars or youth drivers, 2-man heats,
Heat 3.
heat 3. Yep. Goodness. Full size feature will be it's round 7, and then compact feature will round up the weekend. So that is a full weekend of action that is going to be numerous drivers
From around the world.
And looking
all
like
over.
the weather's going to cooperate too.
Yeah.
Maybe just not perfect, but
Hey,
it's going to dry up. And
compared to what
quit
we've
raining.
had around here for the last week, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Word.
I drove to my parents earlier and was going down the highway, and you look on both sides and you're like, I hope I don't have
Yeah.
a wheel fall off. They won't find the vehicle for a month
Mhm.
until it's
Yeah.
water's reset.
We've had like something like 4 or 5 days of straight rain,
Yeah.
thunderstorms, tornadoes. It's been rough around here the past
We're
4
up
or
to
5
like
days.
10 or 11 inches since Wednesday?
Wednesday, Thursday.
Cody, we always behave, so I don't think we'll have to call you.
We at the most we might go to a casino just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Just because I want to go to the casino out there.
This is
That
news
was
to me.
that was actually it was actually listen, it was actually not our idea. Actually, Mason was like, dude, let's go to the casino out there. I was like,
There it
Okay,
is.
so this is
There it is.
news to me from last weekend when we were at your house, but I'm down.
well, I'm just saying I stopped by the bank and made sure I had plenty of cash. So
I'm just glad you told me before we went
yeah.
instead of while we were up there, so I can prepare.
You got a card with unlimited funds on it.
Oh,
Do
God.
not come at me like that.
Where my house at then?
where,
Yeah.
where,
Where does that then?
Oh,
but
He's like,
It's
you
hot in here,
guys.
guys.
he's like, gee, thanks. Gee, thanks. Yeah,
Wrong
forget
ones.
that one.
One.
Golly.
Hey, it's been a long time since I've got to hit that.
I don't know. All in all, I always look forward to Spring X because it's really, outdoor wise, that's a first.
Cody says never ever do max bet.
But Spring X is really one of the first bigger outdoor shows of the year. Weather's usually starting to come around. Being it's a team deal, of course, there's several team derbies over the winter, and then you get to go to an outdoor team derby, and it's just the action's always good out there.
Yeah.
And never
Always-
relax in action.
I always like Spring X because the team show thing seems to be the new kind of in style thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Spring X is what like started that.
Yeah.
I mean, way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to pretty much be that was your only team show you had. You
Yeah.
had there and then Blizzard Bash. That was pretty much about it.
Yeah.
But always
Dime
wild.
a dozen.
Always
Yeah.
wild.
It notoriously is, and it doesn't matter if it's the bone stocks or
No.
the full
Whatever
size
heat you
4v4. Yeah, it's always even the mini guys. God, I hate talking about the mini guys, but the mini cars they always get turned up too.
Do we know anybody going on the mini side?
No,
I
think so.
glanced at the teams and I knew a few guys, but not like from our area.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at them.
I think most of the guys that we talked to at Sturgis team show are going to Terre Haute.
Okay. That's
So-
another one that's coming up quick.
Yeah.
And another
So-
long show Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Maybe Sunday. No, I think there's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah. So it's kind of a quick turnaround.
Yeah. Speaking of this month, Paoli is having their first show of the year. I think they've got 5 or 6 shows coming up. Spring Explosions put on by Derby Icons. And Paoli will be 907 Promotions with Dustin Cross and his crew. They got the Gut and Go remastered. Just Cross's take on the Gut and Go. He's got his own rules.
Yeah, it's partially because the bourbon cars and whatnot too.
Yeah.
but-
Mm-hmm.
He is allowing bourbon cars. So that'll be a good show. Mini Madness and Pro Stock that night. $200 Mad Dog across the board. $1,500 for the big cars features and $1,000 for the mini. So that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
For being that early of a show, it's pretty decent payout.
I'm thinking there's probably gonna be more cars show up there than we think too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Joey says, "What's it cost for tickets?"
And what shows in Terre Haute
Tickets for Spring X
are
I don't,
$50
for the whole weekend.
Yeah, that's what it was last year and the year before. It was $50 when you buy them there. But when you buy them online, I think they're like 55, I think, or something like that. I
I've
think.
not even looked, so
Yeah. And then
I do not have a ticket.
That's the one good thing too that I like about outdoor shows is you don't have to worry about
Yeah,
Yeah.
get
that
your
whole
ticket before
getting
it-
ticket and it's selling out. I love going to the indoor shows, love it, but that stress of forgetting because all of us here, but especially you and I are notorious for, oh yeah, we're gonna go, and then I'll text Cody at some point. I'm like, hey, you got your ticket yet? Nope.
No.
We did pretty good
We did,
at this last
Yeah.
one.
The last
Like-
two
yeah,
at
Yeah.
Sturgis.
and we did good for Freedom Hall. We got them as soon as they came out.
Yeah. Thomas says $60 for a weekend pass.
That
So
might be, I think he might mean for the DTV. It might be for the in-person ticket. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Um,
it's something like that, 50, 60, something like that.
And
in that
then-
ballpark.
The Terre Haute Derby is
That would
River
be
City Rampage.
Toast Promotions.
Yep.
Show used to be in Henry, and this is his first year moving it to Terre Haute, which we've kind of touched on before. I think was a fantastic idea.
it
Yeah.
doesn't really hurt my feelings.
Yep. So I'm going to try and get up there at least a couple days. That is the first weekend in May, Joey. If we didn't say that. But 907 Promotions will be bringing us to Paoli on April 26th. It's always a good time at Paoli. They've been known for their derbies for many years. It kind of died out there for a while, and we've had a few promoters bringing it back over the last probably 5
Well,
years.
They've
Yeah.
also been known for actual fist fights, and then derbies somehow always end up breaking out at the
Yeah.
fist
That's a
fights,
Paoli
but-
thing.
But also, shout out to Paoli. They have made numerous improvements to that
Yes.
place,
Oh, yeah.
especially
Yeah.
from what it was when all of us were growing
Growing
up.
up there, yep.
If you had more
Yeah.
than about 25 cars, you barely had a spot to park to pit. And now,
You couldn't see
mean-
anything because it was pitch dark basically
Yeah.
the entire time.
Yep.
you were
yeah,
there.
they've improved all that. They've added on down in the pits. I mean, a couple Octobers ago, they had multiple classes with like 25 plus cars, and everybody had plenty of room to park. I mean, they've improved a lot up there.
Yep, it's definitely that facility's growing, and I think it'll just keep going that way. This is the first year that they've had this many shows in a long time.
Yep.
So that's exciting in itself. Give us something to do almost once a month throughout the whole warm segment of the year. So yeah,
Looking forward to that one as well.
yep, that's for sure. Speaking of Mad Dog, me and Kinley's been working on a new T-shirt design. We won't show you what we've got so far. Hopefully this week we can iron that out and get one made and show you guys. We'll tell you the concept that we're throwing around for it. This isn't ironed out details. We don't have a show picked yet that we want to support. But we came together and decided we wanted to do a Mad Dog shirt, make it something wild, over the top. A cool shirt just to show that like that's the style of driving the fans want to see. So with doing that, we're going to sell a shirt that is Adrenaline Junkies based with a little bit of a Mad Dog twist. Half the proceeds roughly will go towards a pot, and we will pick a show. I don't know if we'll pick like a fall show or if we'll wait until like 2026 and do like just a random show throughout the year. If it goes over too well, we'll do several shows. But we want to help sponsor a Mad Dog at some random show. So let's say Caitlin over here promotes a derby in the middle of what town?
Ramsey.
In Ramsey. And we want to support that show. We're going to walk up to her and say, here's X amount of dollars. We want the Adrenaline Junkies to sponsor on top of whatever you're already given for Mad Dog. Just to give it a little bit more excitement for the night. Have us have a way to give back to the drivers that are putting that kind of show on. We know that's not everybody's style, but that's what we like to watch. Well, man, I don't like to drive that way, but
Why do you look at me when you say that?
because I was looking at Jordan and then I was like,
Why did you look at me?
Oh.
I
Why is it
had-
always me?
I had
Haters.
Jarrett got his feelings hurt.
I'm just gonna have to prove y'all wrong, like in a severe manner.
We're waiting.
that's a handshake, y'all.
I might just have to. We'll see. When, where? Actually, it's probably not gonna happen. I don't know. We'll see. One of these days, I might get a wild hair.
I was about to say you'll get a wild hair sometime.
You'll
No.
probably do it the night that we least expect it to.
It'll be the night that like
Yes.
we both get called into work and
Yeah.
he's at the track.
Yeah, I was
by
gonna say it's
himself.
gonna be somewhere where we're not there.
And all of a sudden it's gonna blow up and everybody's gonna be like, did you see this? And I'm gonna be like, who's that?
Well, ain't nobody gonna be talking about me no matter what I do. But yeah,
I guarantee.
I mean,
we talk
somebody
about
might be talking about you, maybe not in the way that you'd like, but
Yeah.
that ain't nothing new. That's nothing new at all.
Joey, I'm not sure if tickets are for sale on that one yet.
They are not. I'm sure they're not. I've not seen anything on that.
Yeah. A little early still.
Yeah. But yeah, Toast Promotions will be putting that on. They're on Facebook and pretty active with it, so I'm sure they will post that as soon as it's available. Lollipop Announcing will sponsor the big check to go along with the Mad Dog Award.
Even better.
Oh, how cool would that be? So we got all kinds of stuff in the works. Doing
I
Mad
feel like
Dog
we
shirt.
always have so much stuff in the works, man.
Yeah.
That's
and-
because
but
I
then-
work 60
yeah.
hours.
No,
a
I
week
just
and
mean
sleep
like we're constantly. We
50.
have something.
Yeah,
we're like
I don't got time to do it.
yeah,
Like,
putting this stuff
we
out.
that's why so we have the show every other week, but like just like what we said, we were at your house last weekend
Mhm.
and yeah, we hung out and we did whatever, but anytime that we're all together, the podcast always gets brought up. There's always
heck, the group chat never stops.
Well, yeah.
I was gonna say if we're not together, then we're.
it's
texting
always
nonstop.
somebody sees something or one of us has an idea and we're texting, or when we are all together, it's like, hey, I came up with this. What do you all think about this? And
talking to
so-
other people about
right.
stuff. And
Yeah. And I sit at work and to escape from sitting at work, all I do is think about the podcast. Like
Well, I mean,
It's
how
all
many
that's on my
ideas
brain.
did we just come up with in the 30 minutes? Me and Jordan were here
Yeah.
before you guys got
We've got a
here.
half a piece of paper just on new merch ideas,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
which those will not come out yet. We are so stocked with our OG stuff. We will work on that side of it
So
slowly.
the faster y'all buy our stuff, the faster
You
you'll get the new stuff.
Now, what it is like we can't justify just we're on limited funds. We fund ourselves here on this whole ordeal, so we want to be able to get rid of the rest of that stuff to fund all the new merch while we're building. Getting all the new merch together. We're going to continue to try to get the OG stuff out to you guys, and then start working the new merch in, and that way it kind of goes hand in hand with each
Yep.
other on supporting itself. And I think the new merch still, I'd say we're probably going to sell more of the new merch than we do the old.
Yeah.
I'm excited
It's-
for it.
yeah,
It's pretty sick. So we are pushing that stuff, trying to get all of that ready. I've got a stack of 4 over there that's getting ready to get picked up after the show ends. I told them I'd text as soon as we were done so they wouldn't be walking in the middle of it. I got one I got to mail tomorrow. I got another order for Lollipop announcing that will be going out. It's pretty cool. We designed a logo for him, and he said, I want the Adrenaline Junkies logo on the bottom of it. So
Say
he
less.
incorporated us into his personal gear. So we're extremely excited about that. Going to be cool to see it. And I put mine in his stack. I almost mailed him my hoodie too. He almost got an extra, and I didn't get one. So Cody, if you get my hoodie, I'm going to be coming back after it. But yeah, we got a ton in the works. We're trying. We're thrashing away. I got to spend some time in my shop this weekend. I started stripping on a car. Didn't get much. Monsoon came in, and I was at mom and dad's working because my bay is taken up by a podcast situation over here.
Why
So
don't you just bring her on down to me, old buddy?
you ain't got time.
Sure I do.
Nope.
Sure I do.
Nope. I know what you got going on.
It changes about every other day. Literally.
When there's one car that is completely done,
There's
your
another one
house.
already waiting.
well, I'm
Well,
talking
no,
about
that's-
one car in particular. Then we'll talk about.
He never has free time because he starts his car 6 months in advance. So it's like,
Well,
Buddy, these last 2 have been.
he's like, I only have 6 months to build this car, guys. I can't go out this weekend. I can't. I
Oh,
can't.
Yeah.
that's why we've started going to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just come to you now.
That is a drive, though. I didn't realize how far you guys come to do this. And the last
So,
2 trips I've made down there, the trips home have not been enjoyable. On the way down, I can play my radio, be in a good mood. But when it's dark on the way back, I'm like,
It's a very boring drive, too. So
yeah.
one thing I want to talk about before we go any farther. Has anyone seen how on Facebook the drama and the talking smack and whining and moaning is still going on?
It's people feed off of that, and I don't understand it. It
And-
makes me mad. It makes me want to delete all social media, and I'm like, I can't do that anymore. The podcast has ran through my social media, so
But I don't mean like directed towards promoters or anything like that. I just mean like
it's everywhere. Like,
it's guys talking about other guys, groups talking about other groups, guys talking about promoters, guys talking about specific shows. It's never ending.
yeah,
What do we do about that?
And there's a lot of it that is exactly what you just said. It's all talk.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I mean, if you want, if half of it was actually backed up
Mhm.
on the track, you would get awesome shows everywhere you went. But
yeah.
a lot of it's just keyboard.
Yeah.
We're
So-
just going to talk.
That's
and
why.
then,
That's why I'm sitting there. That was the direction I was headed towards. It's like, at what point are guys going to start putting up or shutting up?
Yeah.
Like, at what point are guys going to start boycotting this show, not going to this show, doing something different to actually make a change? It's like everyone is just so content with taking their 2 thumbs, letting them suckers eat, and then being done with it. It's like it's a never ending cycle. And
Okay, Shannon.
what are you gonna do about it?
Dad, PG, but we agree.
Yeah, I mean it's not wrong.
Hey,
But,
we
um,
can't control the comments. Though.
I don't know. That just goes towards like the shows and at the show or the drama at the show.
And I've
Yes,
always
too.
been a big believer. If I'm going to complain about something, I'm going to think about my perspective of it and what I can do or an idea I can say to help fix the situation before I go into my rant. Like
Mhm.
and-
everyone no one tries to come up with a solution for the problem before they go ahead and add to the problem. Everyone needs to be trying to figure stuff out and do the right things to end the problems before you just go ahead and try to add on to the problem.
I missed Cody's comment, so I was really confused at yours. But yeah,
Watch
like
it.
it's just the entitlement in drivers, viewers, fans that think their way is the only way, and definitely makes you want to take your foot off the throttle. And it does, Robbie.
Yeah.
The stuff that I've seen online, it is so encouraging for people like you to invest in everything that you're doing to try and help the sport. I can't imagine the sacrifice monetarily, emotionally, with your family that you gave for Freedom Hall. And for what? People to get online and cry about the best show that's ever been in that arena. Like there's nothing else that could be said about that. That was the best show. I've been to 3 of them. Needs a simple solution. That's it.
That's right.
That's
Speaking of simple solution, Robbie, please holler at me. I got
it.
some questions.
um,
Just we'll leave it at that. Just give me a holler.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And you got people like Robbie that he's got simple solutions, Twisted Metal Motorsports. He's promoting the biggest show in our area on top of fair shows. And when the floods happened, he was the first person I saw that said, if you guys need anything, I will be out tomorrow ready to help. Like people like that's what we need in the sport. We don't need the people crying about, oh, my feelings got hurt at the track because they didn't like what I did to my car or stuff like that. I want people with solutions, simple solutions that can fix all the issues. Like we're trying to do our part by promoting events and getting the word out about what's going on in the area. So if we can help and we can be the civil mind that goes to these promoters and says what you think, reach out to us. We will talk with you. We will share our perspectives of it, but don't go bashing on Facebook for everyone to see when there's no fix to it and you're just upset.
And it goes back to we were talking about this topic before the show, and we had kind of almost just put a lid on it, but it goes back to guys, oh, so and so's getting favoritism. I'm not getting favoritism. I'll open that can of worms because I don't care. It is literally the one of the problems is the so-called favoritism. He got this, I didn't get that. They're allowed to do this. Why can't I do that? And I think that favoritism is something that has always been in the sport. It's something that will always be in the sport. And there's only so much people can do about it. But if you sit back and look at the big picture here of we're just here to derby, man. Just derby.
Yep.
Yeah. And people call it favoritism, but like the Hard Nose guy said, I think it was the show before last, you go up in the tech area and you've got something that is gray area and you can't justify it as a driver, I'm not going to let you in with it.
Yeah.
If you break down that rule and say, this is how I interpreted it, and this is why I did X, Y, and Z, I'm going to be more likely to be open-minded as an inspector and be
Versus-
like, okay, you got me.
Versus when you guys come up there screaming, yelling,
Hooting and hollering and
throwing a fancy on Facebook and then causing a big uproar because 90% of the time the guys will work with you. Like, I'm not
That is
gonna
the
do a
main thing I've always said is because you obviously put on shows. You had to inspect. I helped you some. I've inspected some. If I'm a inspector, if you're the driver and you treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect.
Yep.
Even if I find something and you want to state your case, I will calmly talk to you about it and we can discuss and hash it out. But so many guys, when an inspector tells them no, or you got to cut, they just fly off the handle. Well, you're not solving anything there.
Yeah.
It's all about your approach.
And plus, also that like if you go back to that show, that promoter's gonna recognize you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be
You're
like,
not going to
you know,
Exactly.
I apologize
they're
this
yeah,
guy.
they're not going to cut you
Any
any slack whatsoever
So,
if you
yeah.
come back, if you act like that. But
Yeah.
that's the main thing is so many guys just get irate. And just like Cody just said, if you actually take the time, look, here's how I interpreted your rule. Here's why I did what I did. There's a much better chance of them being like, okay, well, you may still have to cut, but you may not have to cut all, or you may they can work with you.
Yeah.
So many of these guys that are inspecting are willing to work
Yep.
and come to an agreement.
Right, because if you think about it, like they want all the cars they can get.
Exactly.
Right? Like no one just wants to kick somebody out unless you've done absolutely something crazy like I did one time. I got loaded. But you know what I mean? Like
That's just
they
a
want you to
lots
run.
of things.
So-
They want you to run.
So with that, what does that mean in turn when guys don't care about the cars, the drivers, anything? They just want the cars. They're not worried about what the cars are,
Yeah.
how the build is.
No, I want my
How does
inspection.
that? How does that? And
Oh, and I mean, I've seen that too. You get to a show and only 5 or 6 cars show up, and promoters are like, "I need cars,"
Yes.
and so
Hold
they
on.
just let it go.
Robbie, thank you. Read Robbie's comment about when you guys were in team show.
Yep.
We had that discussion out there for an hour after you guys went through tech.
Yep.
Literally an hour.
And
It's
And also, Robbie, yes, that is but it didn't say I couldn't. If promoters wrote a set of rules that covered every single gray area, every single thing, to where a driver couldn't say, well, I did this, and they say, well, you can't have that. Well, it doesn't say that I couldn't do that.
Well, that's
The
like
pages
We would have a
you would
binder
have
this
a
big.
binder this big because there's so many ways.
Yeah.
Some of it, I feel like when guys try that, it's like, come on, use common sense.
that's what
like,
I was about to say. It's like, all right, are you sorry, dumb?
Yeah.
Or like
are you just like pushing those buttons? 'cause
Yeah.
You want to push
I
those
mean,
buttons?
just look at it from a gut and go / street stock standpoint. It doesn't say that you can't have like 2x2 welded everywhere. It don't say that you can't, but obviously you can't.
Yeah.
Like use your head.
It's like, come on now.
The amount of sets of rules I've read over the years, I believe every one of them has had the simple phrase, the last call comes to promoter's discretion. And when you're building to that and you're doing something that you know that you can't fix at the track, yes, we all push the limits, but I'm pushing it in places I know I can fix and I know I'm not going to hurt myself by fixing it. Because
That's
it is
where,
the discretion.
That's where guys get so hurt and upset is because they'll go to that extent.
Yeah.
It'll be something you can't change.
No,
Or
especially-
something that is legitimately going to hurt you in the long run.
that's just
And
a
that's why
risk
they're
that you-
getting so upset because they know that it's too late now. You know, they've screwed the pooch on this one.
But also, like in that sense, if like say Jarrett had something completely illegal and he wants to get in this derby, but I have a car built to the rules, like roles reversed, like you would be crying and moaning if
Oh, yeah.
I was running. You know what I mean?
Guilty as charged.
Right,
Listen, I'm a vocal person. I'll tell you how I feel about things and how I see things. And Cody's sitting here giving me that grin. Jordan knows what we're talking about. Jordan was there. We all made the same decisions, but there's a difference in righteously doing it or just pissing and moaning because you didn't get your way completely.
Yep.
If you're gonna moan, better have a way to back it up and logical reasoning.
I was taught a long time ago, and I'm pretty sure Dad's tuned in, so he'll know what I'm talking about. When you're building a car, never do nothing you can't fix at the track.
Yes.
And I've that's been hammered into my head since I've been around it.
And it's one of
not
them
only at my
deals-
shop, but yours.
It's
Like,
one of them deals that if you're gonna go that extra to cap a frame or do whatever, and you can't fix it, or like you said, it's gonna hurt the car, that's a risk you're willing to take.
Yeah.
So
But
if-
when they catch it and they tell you either cut it off and then you know it's gonna hurt the car, or they tell you to load, that's your fault.
Yep.
yeah, that's when you, as a person, as a driver and a builder, you take responsibility for that and you go home.
Yeah. I've been loaded twice, and I've probably ran the least amount. Kinley may be on the least amount, but it's still pretty
Close.
remotely close. And both times, cars I didn't build, kind of. And I showed up to the track. One of them, I believe, should have ran. The other one, I showed up to the track after working on it for 3 days to go run with buddies. The car wasn't mine. We never even unloaded my car, but three other cars that were built in the same shop didn't make it through. Hell, we was at Casey's. I got a phone call. Hey, you don't need that gas anymore.
Yeah.
But like, I wasn't mad. I showed back up at the track and I was like, well, we should have built to the rules, guys. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like, it's not life altering. Like,
To go with what Robbie says, yeah. Like I said, Robbie's comment, shake your hand. You know, take
I would
take your
rather-
loss and go on.
I would rather, as a driver, if I try it and you find it, unless, let's be honest, there's guys that they don't take the time to try to hide it good,
They said
and it's
they
just
said,
obvious.
I'm welding them belly bars in.
Yeah.
Forget that.
But I'm saying if it's a legit job of trying to get like a capped frame in or something, and it gets caught, I respect that more because that tells me that the inspectors are actually checking cars.
Yeah.
And you want to know what else that tells me? I need to go home and hone on my skills some more.
yep.
Yeah. But
That
just
makes
like
me
he
wanna do
said,
it that much better.
but it's just like he said, if they catch it, they tell you, look, and that's my thing too. So many times they still give you options.
Hmm.
Like, look, you can cut it. You got to cut it all off. And guys will get so upset. Like, to me, if you got like a cat frame and they catch it, it's on the trailer. Like, there
Yeah.
is no cutting.
Yeah.
But there is promoters that will give you the option to cut. You can cut it all off, and then guys will be like, well, then it's going to just absolutely kill my car. Well, you should have thought about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, that's on you.
On the other side of that, the not getting stuff caught at derbies, the worst, I wasn't scared to drive, but the most fear I was in a car was when I went through inspection at a show. Promoter walks over, leans his elbow on my door frame. The inspectors walk over to it, and he's like, just put a stick on it. I'm like, either I'm way
Ruh-roh.
underbuilt or we've got a friendship that I don't know about. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go out there now. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm getting that kind of treatment from somebody that I'm not really that close with,
Who
that
else is?
concerns me.
Yeah.
Like,
who else
There's
is?
been twice now, somewhat semi-local here, where that same scenario is, one, you got teched on trailer, and as soon as that was happening, I called Jordan and I said, can we just turn around and go home because I do not like the sounds of this. Then there was another one where it was basically the same deal. Took a peek at it and I was like, okay, well, if I'm getting in without cutting, that is not good.
yeah.
I
'Cause
should, I
Because
should have done more.
Yeah, because and that's not a good feeling to have people showing up to your derby and guys are like, maybe I should rethink my decision on coming here because these guys obviously don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one wants to go to a derby and that be the case.
Well,
No one wants to go to a derby and be like, well, I can't do anything and I'm not going to get in regardless.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ken. Sorry.
well, no, you're fine. Well, like sometimes, like obviously Jordan's ran a couple more derbies than me, but like he'll tell me about him running the derbies, whatever, back whenever, and he's like, well, I don't even want to go there anymore because I don't know what to build. You know what I mean? Like back
Yep.
to what you were saying, like when people don't really stick to the rules and like you go up and you just get a stick, it's like, well, I don't want to come back here because it's like I don't know what to build. Like, what does that guy have, and how did I get in so easy? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
yeah, been there, done that too. And it really
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
a big part in why some places have cars, some don't. some places have an outrageous amount of
And
cars
that
in there
causes
like
just a
that.
whole other
Yes.
issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
A
I mean,
whole other
it's not
issue.
even my main thing on that is it's not even just getting in like because they just toss a stick on it. It's you look at a set of rules and you've read the rules and you know them, and then you go watch that show and you're like,
Oh yeah,
That's
Um,
not these rules.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to go run, it's like I can put together whatever class you want, but how do I what you don't know how far to push it.
yeah.
like
You don't
you
know
can
what end of the spectrum to be on.
yeah,
when
you
when
can
you're
literally
putting it
look at
together.
the rules and then go watch the show and be like, okay, they're not completely built to those rules. But then you're looking at it, okay, well, I got to compete, but how far do I push it?
Yep.
Because then you know if I don't get in, then what am I going to do with this car?
Robbie
But
said-
it's just like
Robbie.
what Robbie said earlier. He said it takes the fun out of it. No one wants to build a cookie cutter car. Yeah. So you need to have the rules to where guys can. I don't like the term like gray area, but you got to give guys leeway to be able to think outside the
Yeah,
box.
it's. I'm gonna put it to you like this: door plates.
Yeah.
I love when rules say you're allowed 36 inches per vertical seam or 24 inches per vertical seam. I don't like being told they have to be in 3x3,
Yeah.
4x4. If you say you get 36 inches, let me have some fun and see what I can do with 36 inches.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
then you got guys that they may do their patches maybe 3 inches tall, or you may do like what you see a lot of guys do,
Stitching.
like at Spring X. That was where I first started seeing it. Is they do them an inch tall,
Stitches.
and so.
Granted, I didn't do that on the last one because
Yeah.
I'm lazy, but
But I
still,
mean,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, you
What-
still got to have room to use your imagination, think outside the
Creativity.
box, creativity. Yes, exactly.
It's Rob.
But at the same time, it goes back to what I said. Just because the rules don't say that you can't weld 2 or 3 pieces together of 2x2 from the front bumper to the cage to the back bumper doesn't mean you can do it.
Yeah.
Like we still got to use common sense.
And to go back to the whole Robbie's comment, he said his favorite is when someone shows up and says, "Well, I just ran it such and such with whatever promoter with whatever rules."
Well, go run his show again.
Yeah, I was,
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say. So to open the can of worms on that one, it's like, hey, when a promoter has his rules, and then like sometimes like even before the year starts or even halfway through the season, he backpedals, says, "Well, to allow so and so to come here, or to allow, I'm going to use this example, Spring X, if they have a one and done class, they're going to say, well, we're going to open up the rules to smash it's such and such rules to try to let all those cars come." It's like, what are you actually doing here?
Yeah.
Are you trying to keep your rules and allowing other cars to come? Or are you just throwing your rules out the window and you're just opening it up to the other ones? And again, that was just me saying, making basically an example. I don't think Spring X or Smash should even have anything to do with each other. But again, that was just 2 names first came to mind. And to an extent, I understand the whole trying to, make everything unified and allow certain cars to go certain places, but you can go too far the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And then
And-
that can go too far the opposite direction for your shows for the rest of the year. And the guys that are building for your shows the rest of the year as well.
Yep. And just because you ran with so and so at whatever show doesn't mean the rules are one, the same or
Yep.
remotely the same, or two, that they stuck to their word because
Who
my
says
staff
they
is
did?
going to do my inspections versus
That's
whatever
where you,
happened there, whatever happened between that show and this show in the garage.
that's where you run into, like, I just use it for example. I'm not saying that they're the one that did it. Whenever the bone stock class for Sturgis first came out, it was a huge hit. And then a lot of places started just copying their rules and using them at their county shows.
Yeah.
Well, then you go to a county show and say this promoter, just like we were saying earlier, they just kind of, yep, it's good.
Yeah.
Well, then when they try to go run, say, anybody else that has the same exact class with the same exact rules, and then they got a cut, that's when they'll be like, well, I just ran for the same rules. Well, obviously they and inspect, or you're lying, and in between those two runs, you added a lot
You
of
laid the
play.
root,
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
so there's really one great big variable to that whole situation, and it's the guys that are looking at the cars
Mhm.
from show to show, promoter to promoter, rule set to rule set. Even if you're using so and so's rules, is so and so here to inspect those cars?
Right.
Because you're using his rules.
Yeah.
And he had to build and go through tech the first time for so and so's rules.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then so and so needs to be here to reinspect it and go through and follow your rules as well.
Yeah.
That's my only thing is
And
everyone, people have their own opinions on things.
everybody.
People interpret things their own ways,
Mhm.
and some guys are more lenient than other guys, and that's where I think it becomes a problem between promoters. Is like, well, dude, they just ran our freaking bone style class and they ran it into the freaking ground because they didn't even inspect or do anything we would have done or made them do to start with. You know,
And that's why a unified rule list for multiple areas and promoters, yes, it's a good thought, but it'll never work.
Yeah,
because
it's a fantastic idea.
unless you've got the same guys
You have to have
interpreting them the same.
You would
every
have
week.
to have the same promoter and same inspection crew inspect everywhere to make sure that they stayed legit.
And back to the cookie cutter comment, like I know we're nowhere anything like NASCAR, but you make it a cookie cutter event, you're going to have vendors that can make the same product for every car. And if you're only allowed to do certain things, you're going to opt out all these other businesses. And NASCAR, if you bolt your spoiler on in an unapproved manner, you're out. Like you lose your points, you're fined, blah, blah, blah. Guys want rules that are that in depth, but there is no repercussion to it.
Mhm.
yeah.
And inspectors and promoters are not there to hold your hand in the shop, on the track, nothing. We just got to own it as participants and do better as a whole.
It's
It's definitely, like Robbie said, there's a lot of those couple issues that we discussed that is hurting the sport as a whole. But at the same time, I don't really know if there's a direct 100% answer to take care of all of it.
No.
You're going to have to
well,
kind of just go piece by
everyone
piece.
forever has been saying, the whole unified rules, unified promoters, and everything. And yeah, that's a great idea.
Mhm.
A great idea. But I'm gonna be realistic for a second. Testosterone won't match up when all those guys are in the room, all wanting to have their own opinion, all
Yeah.
wanting to have their own way.
When me and Dad were trying to promoted for 2 years that we did, we invited every surrounding county to meet with us and have a joint set of rules, knowing that the interpretation at each show would be different because we would not take on every county and did not want any other than what we already had. We didn't want to do what we did, let alone more. And nobody showed up. We ended up down in Harrison County. You, your dad, a couple others sat down with us, and we was like, okay, we're writing these rules. Pick them apart. This is what we've got started with. Pick them apart. And when we was done writing said set of rules, we had 2 different promoters come to us and say, we're just going to use those 2, which is fine, but use them. Like it'll
Use them, but don't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Don't use them just because it's easy to say copy and paste these rules and tell guys that, and then when it comes time to hold the inspection for that class, and then you're just like, oh, I don't even know what the rules say.
Yeah.
Because I have been to a show where they literally had a set of rules posted, and it was another promoter's, and then said thing was done, and they were like, I don't even know exactly how that was worded, to be honest with you. Well, then you obviously don't know the rules.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't how I don't know. It's a big can of worms that has no bottom to it and could go on forever and ever,
I was
but
about to say it's a big can of worms that is,
never ending.
yeah, it's never gonna stop.
I feel like a lot of people talk about it, not a lot gets done about it. hell, I might talk about it for a very long time and might never even do anything about it, but just my opinion.
Everybody's got one.
Yes.
Just a few things.
Everybody's got one.
Cody's volunteering us for stuff that I don't think I can
Yeah.
handle.
Oh,
Yeah, Cody, that sounds like one of those things we'll put on the back burner.
Yeah, that's quite extensive. Great idea.
Yeah,
if you had a
that
group of
sounds good.
guys or someone that could do it, but
When I hit the lotto, maybe we'll
Yeah, I was
talk about
gonna
doing
say.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't play very often, but
Not enough.
not enough. Yeah.
all right.
But we've been on an hour and 10 minutes. We're very appreciative y'all have stuck through. Again, we can't thank our sponsors enough.
Thanks for listening to our soapbox.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, we kinda got on it for a second
we
there.
did. We got on
And
a soapbox. and-
I do like whenever we hit a topic and we get the people that are watching to
Yeah.
comment
Yeah.
and we can interact.
I love that.
Yeah.
So just a reminder, we've got merch out, hoodies, t-shirts, koozies. The hats do not look like this anymore. I just am,
they look like this.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't see it, but they look like this.
They're the ones that
I
we
didn't
was
even
wearing to
pay
the show.
attention that we all got on each color.
Aw.
We even talked about it. Where's you been?
I guess
Dude's
I
in
was
his
reading
head.
or
Dude's in his own
whatever.
world.
You
Yeah,
can't multitask.
Don't mind me. I'm just
He
here.
said, "Give me a stick of gum and make me walk," and I can't even do that. So I'm walking straight into that wall.
I just take up space.
Well,
Love it.
that space in between your ears is just empty.
All right.
Anyway, back to the merch before we got off topic. Yeah, we do have some new merch getting ready to come out.
But yeah,
We do have the OG. The OG I think we'll always have the option to have this even
Yeah.
when we don't have it on stock. we
It's
can
saved
always-
in the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and anything we don't have in stock, I will get replenished and sent out. The one that I got to send in the morning was one we sold out of at Sturgis, and shipping it to them. Should have already done it, but lack of sleep.
Yeah. So if you ever are at a show and you come see us and we don't have whatever size, whatever color, whatever, we
Yeah.
can ship it to you.
mhm.
Cody says for a low price of $25, you can support a starving adrenaline junkie. We haven't used any of it for food yet, but we've
Yeah.
got some cool toys that we're wanting to purchase to help make this grow a little bit more. But yeah, I like that principle. We can run with that maybe.
we are gonna take out of our own personal pockets and buy T-bones to take up there to Spring
Yeah.
X this weekend.
Yes.
So if Chad, Dylan, Chase, any of our Southern Illinois friends are listening, we are gonna have it with us. So go ahead and have
So
that
make
grill
sure
Save a spot.
Hey, we'll bring
Yeah,
the
hot and ready.
Parkers.
hot and
Yeah,
ready.
Shout out Parker.
yeah,
on here
we'll-
too. We're
we'll-
bringing the seasoning.
Yeah, we'll bring some of our seasoning that y'all can either use, or the seasoning that they used on that steak.
It may have
But-
been
Seared to
Parker's.
perfection.
No,
But
I watched
no.
it. It was
No.
not Parker.
But yeah, definitely go ahead and bring the wheel and get that thing warmed up because we're
I
coming.
was about to say, Cody, that sounded like an ASPCA comment
Yeah.
down there.
We're not like homeless and starving. We're just,
The poor puppy dogs just
Yeah.
wanting to buy some more
fun
equipment.
stuff.
But yeah, we appreciate y'all. See y'all at Spring X. Come up, say hey. We'll have some kind of adrenaline junkie merch on. So
I got a big trailer we can hang some
I'll
stuff. on.
say we're not
taking
actually.
closed again. His trailer.
They're 2 cars.
Yeah.
We'll have
We're,
plenty of trailer. I've
we're-
got a big old tent we can take too.
Yeah, we're not going to take our enclosed like we did for Spring X, but since we have sponsored their cars, they will be painted up and have our stuff on it. So if you see their cars, that's where we'll be.
Yeah.
I'm not posting a picture of my car. I am. I'm gonna mark it all black. I'm gonna color it all black and then
I know
post it.
somebody that's gonna whoop you if you do that.
No, he means the frame. You can't
Yeah,
see the
like,
frame.
I'm gonna mark it all up where like I look like one of those cool kids that apparently does a whole bunch of stuff to their frame. I don't even know what to do to a frame, so I'm just gonna make it look cool and just.
Anyways,
paint
back
on
to
the
what I
front.
was saying.
Yeah,
If you
sorry.
see their cars,
I'm so confused.
if you
I thought that was a late model thing.
if you see their cars at the track, you'll know where to find us. We'll be with them. So
There
In the
will-
vicinity.
Yeah, in
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
vicinity.
say there will be one hooligan after another around there. So.
or
We'll see
just
what's on.
I'm sure we'll be by Walker and them. So just look for him.
Yeah.
Big Chuck.
Big Chuck.
Get
Big
You'll-
Chuck.
You'll see his
You
head.
see the big goofy guy, and we'll be standing
Yeah,
beside him.
you'll see his head. So-
But yeah, hit us up. Come hang out. Cheer on the boys. Run with the boys. Take in.
This guy's going apart. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Mm.
With that,
You heard it first.